Good morning, everyone. I'm State Representative Mike Coffey. I represent House District 95, which is Sangamon County, Christian County, and Macon County. I'm happy to be joined here today with Leader Windhorse, Sheriff Paula Crouch from Sangamon County, and the Sangamon County State's Attorney, John Milhiser. One of the things that I do as state representative is I go across the district talking to people about what their needs and their interests are. It's a mic on Main Street where I go into businesses and talk about their concerns. And one of the concerns that has come up time and time again is the Safety Act. So that has caused me to bring up House Bill 4275 and try to find changes to the Safety Act. As we've seen, the governor says that he's open to amending the Safety Act. So I took it upon myself to do a mic on Main Street with the sheriff and the state's attorney to find out how that affects them and what changes should be made. Because as legislators, we're there to serve them, and who knows better the effects of the Safety Act than the sheriff and John Milhiser. So in that discussion on the mic on Main Street, what we talked about was that felonies need to be detainable, all felonies, and then we need to give more judicial discretion so that we can make our communities much, much safer. So with that, myself along with Representative Wayne Rosenthal, put together House Bill 4275, which amends the Safety Act to make it much safer for our citizens here in the 95th District and across the state of Illinois. With that, I would like to introduce State's Attorney John Milhiser and let him talk about the effects it has on the State's Attorney's Office. John, please.
Yeah, thank you, Representative Coffey. Well, it's great to be here talking about public safety. So I spend every day trying to keep our community safe, and the Safety Act has made it more dangerous. But we're not talking about a complete overhaul of the Safety Act. We're talking about tweaks to make our communities more safe. And that major tweak is to give judges more discretion to detain individuals. All felonies should be detainable. They are not. So I think that's a big first step to making our communities more safe. And again, it's not a throwing everything out. Bringing back cash bail. We don't need to do it. We just need to make sure and ensure that in our communities, those individuals that are causing crime, that are making it more dangerous, are detained, and the judges have the discretion to detain them. I'm going to turn it over now to Sangamon County Sheriff Paula Crouch, and she can talk a little more about how the Safety Act has affected Sangamon County and made it more dangerous. Sheriff.
Thank you, and thank you, Representative Coffey, for bringing this to light and bringing this to the legislature so that we can get these needed changes. In Sangamon County and across the state, one thing that we notice is we have a lot of repeat offenders coming back into our jails. And why is that? It's because there's no accountability. There's no accountability for the crimes that they're committing because they can commit a crime, they either are not detained or in some cases, they don't even make it to the jail. They're issued a citation with a court notice to come in. And what our jail is seeing, although some crimes may be down, the same person is coming into the jail repeatedly, sometimes day after day after day for committing the same types of crimes. And that is increasing actually our volume of the jail and the number of processes. One big example that I can give you is our retail theft. Many people may not realize retail thefts are felonies in some cases, but an offender can go into a store, they commit this theft, they come to our jail, and then they're immediately released, only for our jail to see that same person come back again in the next couple days for, again, a retail theft. A lot of the products that are stolen aren't reusable, so the stores are still feeling that loss in their store. And then again, we are constantly seeing the same people. And why is that a problem to our communities? Because it helps, or it continues to make our communities unsafe. Now, there are many other felonies that State's Attorney Milhiser mentioned that also people aren't detained in our facility. Yes, they may come in, but then they'll see a judge and they're released within 24 hours back to commit crimes again over and over. So one thing that would be important for us is if they are able to be detained, if the judges have the discretion to detain individuals so that they can be held accountable, then that also allows the jail to provide them with services that oftentimes these people committing these crimes need, such as drug and alcohol treatment. When it's a revolving door and they come and go, we are not able to give them the services they need to become more productive into society. So that's why this bill and the changes to this bill are so important to the Sheriff's Office and to all the residents of Sangamon County and the state of Illinois, is to help improve the safety of the residents living there. And we thank you for bringing this to the legislature and to hopefully make these changes.
Thank you. Do we have any questions?
So the governor said, we're open to tweaking it, or I don't know the exact quote. Do you think these suggestions fit what the governor's talking about?
Well, I hope they do. And, you know, let's be honest, that's why I went to the experts. I went to the people that know, and I hope that the governor will include, you know, their recommendations into anything he's for. So that's why I went to the experts. And I hope the governor also goes to the experts to know the people on the ground. How does it affect the people on the ground? And that's what we're doing here.
Let me ask one more. Can any of you name a case where they let someone out of jail and then they went and committed a serious crime?
Well, it depends on what you consider serious crime. One of the reasons this got brought up is I had a friend and a customer that talked about how they had storage units, and the storage units were robbed in the morning. They went down, they were processed, and in the afternoon, they came back and got what they didn't get in the morning. So, you know, it's an inconvenience. Crime is an inconvenience to all people. And so what I think we found out through the discussions is there are a lot of repeat offenders, and we've got to stop these repeat offenders.
This isn't the first time I've seen potential tweaks to the Safety Act. Of course, we didn't see the Pretrial Fairness Act until just a short while ago. I'm curious, do you feel that this is the time that Democrats will let Republicans and law enforcement to the table for concrete reform?
Well, I hope it is the time. You know, as we see the divisiveness across the country on every issue. And so I hope that the governor looks at this and says, here is a community in the state capitol that wants to help, wants to make a difference. So I hope that as we go into this year's legislature, we have a more bipartisan effect where we work together on issues. And we stick to the issues that affect people and our constituents. You know, stick to the bread and butter issues, and crime is a bread and butter issue that affects everybody from all walks of life. So I hope he will consider what we have to say.
And either the state's attorney or the sheriff, I'm curious to hear, why is it important to have all felonies, not just violent felonies, included in the Detainment Act?
To protect the public. I mean, that's the bottom line. So give judges the discretion to use the specific facts of that case, the specific facts of that offender, to make a decision whether or not to detain the individual. And the problem is with this revolving door, so you have somebody arrested, they get right back out, and then we're surprised when they reoffend, when they go right back to that same environment with no intervention. That makes no sense. So, you know, not only is detaining an individual, not only does it protect the public and protect victims out there, but it helps that individual. So that revolving door does not work, and we need to make sure we protect the public.
How long does it normally take from arrest to trial? In the case of retail theft, how long does it take to bring a guy to trial?
It depends on the case, and you know, it can happen in a matter of months to a matter of years. It all depends on the case.
Okay, so, I mean, to Paula Crouch's contention that we have people committing retail theft, you're talking about holding them in jail for a length of time that could be longer than the actual sentence they get, assuming you can get a conviction.
Or it means holding them in jail initially until a determination can be made that they can be safely released back into an environment where they're not going to reoffend, they're going to get the help they need. You know, many of the people that come through the jail have mental health problems, have substance abuse problems, have other issues that can be addressed if they're given time for the sheriff's staff to look at them and to help them, to find housing, to find employment, to find all those other issues that will help them reduce the chance that they commit crimes. And so just because they're initially detained does not mean that they're detained all the way until they go to trial. They can be initially detained, they can then, at another court appearance in 30 or 45 days, be released when we have more information. More information for the judge to have to say, okay, that person can be released. I am comfortable. Here's where they're living. Here's where they're going to go to counseling. Here's where they're going to get help. Here's where they're going to be working. All these issues that we don't know when it's a revolving door.
So is that the issue, that judges don't have enough time to make that decision under the current law?
I mean, that's one of the issues, but the main issue is that all felonies need to be detainable, and they are not now. So we need to give judges the discretion when a person comes in to say, okay, here are the facts in this particular case. Here is a way I can protect the community. Let's detain this individual. It can be looked at in 30 or 45 days. Now I have more information. Maybe now the person can be released because we've identified they're addicted to methamphetamines. They're addicted to this. They have a mental illness. We can get them help and put that, find the resources for them. That revolving door right back into the same environment does not help them and is dangerous for the community. Yeah, Dave.
Jail is the best place for these people because A, they're suspected of a crime, and B, they can take advantage of drug and alcohol rehabilitation. How effective are those programs?
Well, I will tell you they're more effective than just releasing them right back out into the community so they can commit more crimes. I can tell you that.
Representative, I'm curious, have you talked to Senator Turner or Representative Shearer about this idea?
No, I have not talked to him yet, but I will. This is the beginning stages of this, so first day back, so I'll definitely get in touch with both of them.
Due to the fact that, many people on both sides of the aisle and independents are calling for any type of reform for the Safety Act, do you feel that there really could be a bipartisan push this time? Get some of your moderate Democrats in the House or the Senate to join you?
Yeah, I mean, that is my hope. That's why I've put this together. We work across the aisle. I think everybody in the legislature, that was one of the questions I got asked on the radio. I think everybody in the legislature is well-intentioned when they come here. We all want to do good things. I think we got to get back to having more bipartisan support on issues and working together to solve problems for our constituents. You have anything else?
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.